Hello, and welcome back to Making Number Sense Make Sense. Today I'm going to talk with you about a math manipulative that has just been collecting dust in my room. And listen, okay, I love a dollar spot eraser as much as the next person, but I'm trying to get better at using what I already have. So I want to talk to you today about a manipulative that, like I said, collecting dust in my room that I never use, and I thought, I need to use this. That manipulative is the inch tiles, or the little square tiles. Now, at first glance, they're like a little boring. My students don't love them. Like, they're a little bit hard to build with. Like, you can only really build towers with it. And I found that a lot of times it's hard for my kids to get really creative with those. They just kind of build a tower and that's it. So I try to think about things that I could do in my classroom to use those more and get my kids to see them in a different light. So I'm going to share some of those things that I found to really work with my kids with you today. The first thing is to use them as quick images. Quick images is a number sense routine where you show students an image really quickly and then they have to try to recreate that image or tell you how many they saw. Now when I use quick images, I usually like to use the same number of items for every image that I show in one session and just change the arrangement so that they understand that, like, for example, 4 can look like 4 in a square, it can look like 2 and 2, it can look like 3 and 1. So I really try and stick with one number for that reason. So using them for quick images, I would show the students a slide with my tiles on it for a few seconds and then hide it. So to get them ready, I said, like, okay guys, are you ready? You gotta get your eyes ready. Let's be looking. Are your eyes open? Ready to take a picture in your brain? And they're like, yes. So then we get a little drum roll, and then I show them the image for 3 to 5 seconds, and then they try to recreate it. Now, adding a little bit of excitement and a little pizzazz really gets them into it, and they love doing quick images with the tile arrangements. The next thing I can use them for simply is as a counter, things that they can count. And a lot of times if I'm trying to count a collection or finding things for collection, there's a fine balance between being like something they want to count and something that's like so fun it becomes a toy. So I find that inch tiles are like a good middle because they know what to do with it, but also they might try to put it maybe in a tower to count it up or lay it out in a line to count it that way. So I really like using inch tiles for that as counters. The next thing I really like to use them for is morning work. So I like to use inch tile task cards that are different arrangements of tiles with all the different colors that the kids can use during morning work. It's kind of like it's a nice soft start. It's not too challenging. It still kind of feels like a puzzle to them. And it's spatial reasoning, which is something that we don't often do a ton of in math class. So it's a great way to fit it in, get a little extra use out of those inch tiles. And I will have a link to my free inch tile task cards that you can find down below. And if you like them, I have a version with bigger and bigger, but make sure you grab those for free in the description. And the last thing I like to use them for is to make patterns. So a lot of times my kids like to put them out in a long line. Like, I'm going to take advantage of this long line and see if they can make their patterns with enough repetitions for whatever it is that they're doing. So that's another way I love to use inch tiles in my classroom. I hope that you got some ideas and that you are inspired to use inch tiles in your room, and make sure you grab your free inch tile task cards in the description below. I'll see you next time.